Oh, I'll wait until my roommate stops blending. Is she done? Typically, blending takes a while. Hello everyone, yes, welcome back to my channel. Let's discuss woo woo, where I will be discussing general entertainment topics like film, TV, award season, maybe music, all that good stuff. So yeah, today we are going to be discussing a new film on Netflix starring one of my favorite actresses, Zendaya. The film is Malcolm and Marie. Yes, it just dropped on Friday. I watched it. Friday was yesterday, so I watched it last night. Yep, and now I'm doing a review on it because I have some things that I'd like to say about it. I'd like to discuss about it. So that's what we're doing here today. Please do not mind that Harry Potter is playing in the background on my TV. I hope I don't get copyrighted for it. I mean, I'm not even showing the full video, and you can't hear it because I muted my TV, so they cannot at me. Warner Bros. Cannot at me. I don't want to hear it. So anyways, let's get on with the review. Okay, so spoiler warning for Malcolm and Marie. Yep, this is going to be a spoiler review, but also trigger warning for drugs and mental health and suicide. Yes, so trigger warnings if you're sensitive to any of that stuff, because that's what this movie goes into, that a lot. So trigger warnings for those. So look away for spoilers and trigger warnings if you're not down for all that. Malcolm and Marie. I need to look up the synopsis of what this movie is about, like what they say the movie's about, because I don't know what the movie's about. Yes, thank you. Now give me a synopsis. Where's Wikipedia when I need it? Oh, it's outside. So, according to Google, the synopsis for Malcolm and Marie is smoldering tensions and painful revelations push a filmmaker and his girlfriend toward a romantic reckoning. Malcolm and Marie. So yes, that was the synopsis. It's basically a 1 hour and 46-minute movie about this couple that's going through it. You know, they're having a hard time. But it was made during the pandemic. I think they filmed it like last summer, and I think Zendaya said they filmed it in 2 weeks with like 22 people on the crew, because you know we're in a panoramic, so we can't really do a full blockbuster type indie movie with a 100-person crew and a 50-person cast. No, we can't be doing all that. We're in a Panama Canal, so we have to be safe. And so they filmed this movie somewhere in LA. I mean, Zendaya used her own wardrobe for the costuming. I think her stylist is like the co-costume designer. The creator is the same person that created Euphoria, which Zendaya also stars in, and he wrote and directed the film. It only stars two people, Zendaya and John David Washington, playing Malcolm and Marie. John David is obviously Malcolm and Zendaya is Marie. Who would have thought? But yeah, so it's an impressive feat to have done this film during a pandemic and to get it out in it's probably only been like 6 or 7 months since they filmed it, and it's already out, full feature film on Netflix. And yeah, so that's very impressive. So I will give them that right off the bat. Very impressive feat to do this film during a pandemic. And then I'll also give them the acting. The acting in this movie is great. Zendaya. I really can't. I love her, but I'm gonna be unbiased because Zendaya did give a very good performance. She did. John David Washington gave a good performance. So that's all I can say about the acting, because there's literally two people in the cast. So good acting from the two people in the cast. The directing was nice, but now let's get into my main problem with this movie. I love Zendaya, I do, but I can't. Even her performance cannot save this movie, and I'm sorry, but it's not that good story-wise. So the synopsis says that it's about a filmmaker and his girlfriend going through a romantic reckoning, and that's the whole movie. But this romantic reckoning is a toxic relationship. That's what it is. And it's so toxic. They're both just saying the worst things they can to one another, but Malcolm says the most horrible things. He's throwing Marie's drug addiction in her face, and he's throwing her suicide attempt in her face. It's some kind of gotcha. Break up with him, please. And that's what I noticed for the first half. So the film starts with them coming home from a movie premiere, and you can clearly see that Marie is a little bit upset, but she's not gonna like go into all that. She's just gonna be a little bit passive about it. And Malcolm is too busy celebrating the premiere to really notice that she's upset, so he's just going off singing, dancing all over the house. At one point he's dancing on a little countertop, and I'm like, if you fall and break your neck, I'm not calling the ambulance for you. But yeah, so he's too busy celebrating. Meanwhile, Marie's in the kitchen making him mac and cheese, upset because she's mad. And then she starts, when she sets the water to boil, she goes and starts to smoke in like a doorway. And then he finally Malcolm picks up on her, you know, emotions, on how she's probably not the happiest person right now. And he goes over and asks her about it. She's like, no, I'm fine. I don't want to talk about it, because if I do, you're just gonna blow up and you're not gonna really like listen to me. So she's like, it's like 1 a.m. She wants to go to sleep. She wants to eat the mac and cheese to go to sleep. And he's like, no, I can tell you're mad, blah, blah, blah. And so an argument ensues. The argument lasts for like a good long while. The fight is about this movie. So they come home from a movie premiere. Yes, Malcolm is a director, and he's just made this whole new movie about a young girl struggling with drug addiction. And Marie is a young woman who has struggled with drug addiction in her past. So she feels that the movie is about her. And at the end of the night, after the premiere, Malcolm did his little speech, but he didn't thank Marie in the speech. And so the whole fight is really about why he didn't feel the need to thank Marie in the speech, when she feels that she was very much the inspiration of the film, because it's about a young woman who went through drug addiction, and Marie is a young woman who went through drug addiction. So she feels the movie's about her, but he didn't have the decency to credit her. And she sees that as a metaphor for or a symbol for their entire relationship, about how he's never given her validation. So the whole fight that they're having is just about, it's about many things. It was a lot of yelling, so it was kind of hard for me to really take in what they were saying. But I feel like the general fight and the general feelings from Marie that she was trying to get Malcolm to see was that she doesn't feel validated in this relationship. And Malcolm was like, why do I need to validate you? I've been there for you from the beginning. You should know how much I love you. Just because I don't say thank you in a speech, or I don't make a film about you, doesn't mean I don't love you, blah, 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 blah. And then he does this thing where he like lists off all his exes that inspired him to make the film. And I'm like, how is that helping your current girlfriend? She's telling you she doesn't feel validated, and your response is to go tell her about all the other relationships you've been in and how those relationships inspired your movie, but not the current relationship you're in. Malcolm is a horrible person. Like, he really thought he was doing something with that whole ex tangent. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing your exes in her face like that? Telling her, yeah, they inspired me to make the movie, but not you. Not you. Malcolm is a menace to society. He needs to go. This is a toxic relationship. It just really is. For the first half of this movie, they are saying the worst things imaginable to one another. And I'm just sitting here wondering, can you break up, please? Like, there's one thing to have like arguments in a relationship, and there's another thing for your boyfriend to start throwing your suicide attempt and your drug addiction in your face. Break up, please. And that kind of ruined me for the rest of the film, because now I'm not really interested in what this film has to say anymore, because I just want them to break up. And Hollywood has this tendency to think that toxic relationships warrant some kind of think piece. And I'm like, no, they warrant the characters breaking up. That's all I want to see from these toxic relationships. But y'all like to dive into them like they're the most deep and profound things. There's nothing profound about a boyfriend not being sensitive to his girlfriend's mental health issues. He's horrible. I don't want to hear from him for the rest of the movie, but I have to, because all of this happened at like the 40-minute mark, and there was an hour left in the film. That was my first issue. So another problem I have with this movie is that I'm not invested in these characters, like at all, really. The film starts with them coming home from a premiere, and they just start fighting, and then that's the film. They fight, they make up, they fight again, they make up, they fight. Tangent about film and film reviews, back to fighting, making up, back to fighting, and it ends. I'm not invested in either of them. I don't really see myself in Marie. Maybe that's because I've never been in a relationship. But anyways, I'm not like, I don't see myself in Marie. I definitely don't see myself in Malcolm, and I'm not invested in either of them. because it's just starting with, here's a relationship and here's how they've gone through some really tough times, but they love each other. And I'm like, what they're going through is toxicity, but whatever. And it's just, we're just supposed to look at this relationship and take it for what it is. And it's like, well, what about the actual people in the relationship? What about them? What do I know about them? Why do I care about them? Why do I care about them to be in a relationship at all? Why should I care for, at the end of this movie, for them to still be together? Because I don't. And that makes it hard to kind of sit through this hour and 46-minute movie about a romantic reckoning when I don't care about the romance, because I don't care about the couple. Kind of made that difficult. So then, what am I left to care about? The message of the film? Well, let's get into my next thing, because I don't know what the message of this film is. I don't really know what the point is. It says it's about a romantic reckoning. Fine. If you consider a toxic relationship a romantic reckoning, fine. Okay. But then he goes on this tangent about movies. They kind of make up for like a second, and then he sees that the review for his film is out. So he goes and he reads the review for his film. And then it goes on a tangent about film and how people look too deep for messages within a film, when sometimes it's just about the craft of the film. Sometimes it's just about the feat of making this film and what was put into it, the artistic style of it, the director's choices, the actor's choices. It's just about that. So at first I was thinking, okay, maybe this film is maybe this part of the film is a commentary on what we're supposed to be taking away from this film. Maybe we're not supposed to be taking away this grand message about love and about relationships, and we're just supposed to be taking it as the craft it is of making a film during a pandemic. Maybe we're just supposed to take it from Sam Levinson's, the director, his artistic style or artistic approach to the film, the actor's approach to the film. Maybe we're just supposed to take it for how the film was made and not what the film is trying to say. It's just about the art. It's not about a message. Yeah, that's what my first thought was when we went into this whole movie tangent. But then I was like, maybe that's not what this is, because then the movie goes back to the relationship. We get out of the movie tangent and the commentary on film and the commentary on film reviews. We go back to relationship, how the relationship is actually terrible and they need to break up. They get into another fight. Back to them fighting about the Marie not getting a thank you in the speech. Back to them fighting about Marie feeling like the film was about her and Malcolm being like, it wasn't about you, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, okay, so we are back on the relationship. So this film is about the relationship. So it makes me think that you are trying to say something about the relationship. But what are you trying to say? What is it? What are we talking about here? Are we talking about film and how sometimes it's just about the craft, or how sometimes reviewers look too deeply into films, or are we talking about relationships? Because if that's the case, I need you to pick a lane and I need you to stay in it. Please. Pick one. You know, I don't need to keep going back and forth from these people fighting to yelling about film. It was very like, okay, what are we trying to talk about now? And so then, when we got to the end of the movie, I thought, okay, maybe the film tangent wasn't about film, but it was about Malcolm. So the whole problem with this relationship is that Marie doesn't feel validated, and she's looking for herself in the film, and she's looking for a thank you and all of this because she wants to know that she's still important to Malcolm. Malcolm is obviously important to her, but is she important to him? Relationships are about validation as much as they are about trust, kindness, friendship, everything. You need validation as well, and Marie wasn't getting it. So I was thinking, okay, maybe his tangent about how you don't need to go so deep into films, like sometimes films don't always have this deep meaning, is about how Malcolm doesn't always look at things from a deeper perspective. And maybe his feelings about not needing to think too deeply about film translates to him not needing to think too deeply about this relationship and even his own actions and how he's hurting Marie. Because she says, you don't know how to look inward and see your own problems. So maybe him not wanting to look deeper into film is symbolizing how he doesn't even look deeply into his own problems and his own relationships to see that Marie is hurting and she just needs you to love her. That's all she wants. She wants validation. She wants to know she's loved. But he can't see that because he doesn't look deep into this relationship. He doesn't look deep into himself to see his own problems. And that's why this relationship is hurting. I mean, at the end, with Zendaya's monologue at the end, I think that really solidifies that this movie is about the relationship itself, obviously. The romantic reckoning Google synopsis tells me that, obviously, but I was spending the whole film trying to figure it out. But so this film is about getting validation from your partner in a relationship. Like, it's all about that need for your partner to constantly show you that they love you and that they are important to you. It doesn't always have to be this whole big showering of affection, but it's in like the little things, like saying thank you for making your mac and cheese. Because in the beginning of the film, Marie makes Malcolm mac and cheese, and he spends the whole time eating it angrily at her. He's mad at her, and he's mad at her while eating the mac and cheese that she made for him. That's what this film is about, the need for validation in a relationship. I just wish they focused on that. I wish they took time to build up these characters so I was invested in it. I wish they took out the toxicity, because at that point I really didn't believe in this relationship at all. I just needed them to break up. And the thing is, with these kind of relationship think pieces, you need time. And another thing about all of this is that, where's the growth, you know? Typically, by the end of these little relationship think pieces, both parties have grown somewhat to make this relationship better. I don't really know if they've grown at all. The entire movie was just them yelling at each other, but they weren't listening, so did they take anything away from it? I mean, Marie got her thank you at the end. She got her I'm sorry and a thank you, finally. But like, what's to stop them from having this whole argument all over again? How am I to know that he's actually grown as a person? He was drunk the whole time, so does he even remember it? Where's the growth? Where's the payoff? I sat through an hour and 46 minutes of them fighting and yelling. Where's the sign that they've grown? Where's the sign that this will be a better relationship going forward? Where is it? Back to normal, people. By the end, Connor and Marianne had grown individually so they could come together better and be better. Where's the growth? Malcolm and Marie at the end of this movie, they're just standing outside on a cliff, and I have no idea if they've grown at all. I have no idea if that hour and 46 minutes was worth it. So yeah, that was Malcolm and Marie, a 1 hour and 46 minute movie about people fighting. And I just wanted them to break up so bad. Like, I couldn't wait for them to break up. Oh my God. But they didn't. Did they grow? I don't know. No growth in sight. No growth in sight. So, and yeah, I mean, it's a fine movie. I just didn't connect with the story. I didn't connect with these characters. I didn't see any growth for either of these characters. It just, the fighting got really tiresome very quickly. Yeah, but the acting was good. The direction was nice. It's good. It's impressive that they were able to make this film in the pandemic. So I'll give them that. But like, the story is just not what I wanted from it at all. At all, which is unfortunate, because I was excited for it and I was hoping it'd be like great, but it was alright. It was alright. I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Validate your partners, people. Show them that you love them. Tell them thank you for making you mac and cheese. And if the movie is about them, tell them it is. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Malcolm and Marie. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment about what you thought. If you've seen the movie, did you like it? I didn't, but it's fine. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know when I'll post another video. My next video may or may not be about Star Wars. Ugh, I might complain about the sequel trilogy. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.